Welcome to the daily message on this fifth Sunday of Lent. In today's gospel reading, Jesus says words that we are very, very familiar with when he says, "Amen, amen, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. But if it dies, it produces much fruit." On one level, Jesus is referring to himself in those words. He is saying that it is only through his death that God's glory can be shown in the resurrection. And so the grain of wheat, namely Jesus, needed to die in order to bear much fruit. Jesus uses the image of the grain of wheat because he's telling us that when the grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, something new is produced, something that feeds us, something that is good for the world. But notice that that wheat is produced only if the grain dies. The death of that grain is necessary in order for the wheat to be produced. So there's a question in this gospel saying for us. What is the grain in us that needs to die? Is it the grain inside of us that says, I'm not good enough? Is it the grain that speaks to us by saying, I don't know enough? Or I'm too old for that? Or I'm too young for that? This reading invites us to identify that grain in us that needs to die so that good fruit can be produced, the fruit of good works, the fruit of peace and justice and forgiveness and mercy. The Lord is calling us today to identify that grain of wheat that is in us and to let it die.